was nice of you all to come on such short notice. I realize how busy all you Quartermaines are. Please, have a seat. Would you like to take your coat off?
I'll keep mine, thank you.
This better be good.
I don't think you'll fall asleep. Hello, Edward.
Miss Moore, Baldwin. Old habits die hard.
If at all. Well, tell me, how is married life treating you?
Just about as I expected.
Well, is that good or is that bad?
It's irrelevant. Could we please get on with it?
We're all very anxious to hear what you have to tell us.
Yeah, for the life of me, I can't think of anything that we have to talk about.
Oh, I believe there are a few matters we might discuss.
Well, if you expect to drop a little bombshell on this family by telling us who Crane Tolliver is, I assure you, we already know.
I figured you did. I assumed Lila told you that Crane was her first husband.
Are you inferring she hasn't told us everything?
I think Lila probably told you everything she knows.
Oh, there's more?
Let's just say that Lila thinks she has nothing to hide.
I beg your pardon.
What do you mean, thinks?
Ah, that will conclude our family gathering here. Edward, would you get that, please? At last, we're all here. I wasn't sure you could make it, Mr. Quartermaine.
Jimmy Lee will do for now.
I'm Susan Baldwin.
Nice to meet you, man.
Come on in, have a seat. I believe you know everyone here.
And, very nice to finally meet you, ma'am.
Thank you.
If you would have looked for me in Indiana rather than in Europe, we would have met a long time ago.
What a pity.
I guess we could get started now. As you know, I am serving as a messenger for one Crane Tolliver. When I suggested that Lila did, in fact, tell you everything she knows, I meant it. But you see, even Lila doesn't know the whole story.
I beg your pardon?
It has a rather interesting twist to it. You see, Lila wasn't once married to Crane Tolliver. She still is.
What?
That's ridiculous.
In fact, Lila, you are a bigamist. Your marriage to Crane Tolliver was never dissolved. And that, of course, means that your marriage to Edward is illegal. Which also means, Alan, that you and Tracy are illegitimate.
Oh, no.
As for you, Jimmy Lee, according to my calculations, that makes you doubly illegitimate. I'm sure there's some kind of a term for that somewhere. At any rate, since I was sure you weren't going to take my word for this, I have proof. 2 documents. Take a look and pass them around. As you will see, the first one is a copy of the original marriage certificate, all signed and legal. The other one is a divorce decree. This one, however, was never signed by the judge. It's as useless and as illegal as Edward's marriage to Lila.
Lord, Lila, it is true. You never were divorced.
I feel faint. Take me out of here.
I'm sorry. I tried to break the news as gently as possible.
Okay. What do you want?
You know, just seeing the looks on your faces is almost payment enough.
Almost.
You heard me. As for the rest, I haven't decided yet. But don't worry. I'll be in touch.
You can't possibly do anything like this, Susan.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Showtime is over. Thank you all for coming tonight and being such a wonderful audience. I hope you all have a nice evening.
You are never going to get away with this. Never.
Go home, Alan. Enjoy it. Well, you still can. I was wondering how long it would take you.
I waited until your husband's car left.
Cold out there?
I'm getting used to it. He doesn't know, does he?
Scott? No, don't worry about that. It's just you and me and the Quartermaines so far.
Well, what happened?
I destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them. You should have seen it. There was a moment right after I told them, nobody said a word. They didn't even breathe. In fact, I think if Edward hadn't cleared his throat, it would have stayed that way for half an hour.
As I expected.
It was great. So what's our next move?
We sit tight, watch them, anticipate everything they might be thinking and planning.
In other words, we stay that special one step ahead of them, huh?
Until the right moment.
When we ask for the money.
them, you tell me.
They were stunned, of course. But that was just momentary. I think now they'll regroup and try to figure out a way to stop us.
You're sure they'll come up with the money?
Positive.
But look at it. The only thing they're risking is the possibility of scandal. Edward just might be the type to value his money more than his reputation.
Well, he could be that type, but he isn't. The Quartermaines value their precious name more than anything. I was there last night, okay? I saw the looks on their faces. They are scared to death.
Still, when it comes to choosing between money and reputation...
They will opt to save their social necks. Besides, there just might be more at risk here than public ridicule.
Such as?
The internal workings of the family money. They have all kinds of trusts and wills and inheritances. And if that ever got out, they'd stand to lose a lot of money.
That's it. I've been wondering and worrying. What's to stop Edward from saying the hell with it? We'll suffer the scandal, and Lila can divorce Tolliver and marry me. But you hit it. Inheritance.
Mm-hmm. If Edward's marriage to Lila is illegal, and all of his children are illegitimate, they would stand to lose all the money that was meant to be passed down.
Not only their name is at stake, but their future as well. A couple of million to us would be nothing more than insurance.
A drop in Edward's hat.
It's all falling into place. All we do now is hit them for the money.
This is only speculation.
It doesn't matter. It's all part of anticipating their next move.
There has to be a will somewhere.
We'll never get a chance to look at it.
Well, I have heard of it, though. It had to do with Tracy Quartermaine's attempt to prove that Alan Jr. wasn't, in fact, the son of Alan, but of Rick Weber.
Weber? A familiar name.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He works at General Hospital.
What has that to do with the inheritance?
Well, from what I understand, it hinged on some sort of a trust fund that was set up by Edward's father. He had promised that the money would be handed down to Edward, but that Edward couldn't pass it on except to his, how do they put it, legitimate issue.
How'd you find out all this?
It's in the paper.
Remember when?
Oh, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. I'm sure you could find out at the newspaper.
I will.
What else can I do?
They'll probably try and contact you. Stay distant. Don't answer their calls.
With pleasure.
Also, under no circumstances let them know that I'm in the city. That's very important.
Why?
Well, my discovery here could weaken our position.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got 2 doctors coming to look at me. They could be here any minute.
All right, I'm off. Oh, we're getting close, little lady.
Yeah.
Which means that we've got to be extra careful.
Well, in that case, may I suggest the back door?
A wise choice. Until later.
I gotta tell you one thing, Al. Last night was terrific. You really know how to shake up a Quartermaine.
I figured if anyone could appreciate it, it would be you.
Yes, ma'am. You know, I'm really glad you invited me. Just a little bit curious, why invite me?
Well, I think it's safe to say that we've both been stepped on by the Quartermaines.
Yeah. Yep, I sure don't mind watching them squirm.
That's not the only thing, though. I think that you should be able to share in the spoils.
Ma'am?
The Quartermaine money. I think that you have as much a right to it as Alan or Tracy or Jason or Alan Jr.
Well, wait a second. Even if that's true, and I don't think that it is, I'm never gonna get it. No way in the world I'm ever gonna get it.
Not legally, no. That's why I'd like to bring you in on this fight. I think it's probably the only way you're gonna get anything from them.
Well, I didn't remember you asking for anything last night.
Of course not. It was too early. You see, I wanted to give them the whole night to think about how much I was going to ask for.
I see.
It's going to be a lot of money, Jimmy Lee. Enough to make both of us very rich.
Well, ma'am, I really appreciate you wanting me in on this thing, but I didn't come here for any money.
Well, what else is there?
Well, see, I don't think you understand. I don't want anything. All I want to do is pay my doctor bills and just get out of town.
Wouldn't it be nicer to leave with a few $100,000 in your back pocket?
No. See, all I want to do is leave just the way I came. A boy from Indiana named Jimmy Lee Holt. No worries in the world, no problems, and no Quartermaines.
Why is it I'm having trouble believing you?
I wouldn't know about that, ma'am. Well, it looks like you got company, and I gotta get to work.
Okay. Mark, hi.
Hello, Susan. How are you?
Fine.
This is Dr. Grant Putnam, the orthopedic surgeon I was telling you about.
Yes. Mark, I don't know if you remember Jimmy Lee Holt.
Hello, Jimmy Lee.
Take your coat.
How you feeling?
Much better, Doctor. Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Glad
you.
to hear it.
Grant Putnam. Glad to see you. Nice to meet you. Well, it's
Sure.
nice seeing you again, Mrs. Baldwin. You take care.
I will, and if you change your mind, you call me.
Okay. Bye-bye. Take care.
So long, Jimmy Lee.